At the school committee meeting Wednesday night at the Savage Center, the discussion of naming the new middle school continued. Here's NCM's Ron Marshalsea with more.
Wednesday night, the school committee met at the Savage Center. The naming of the new middle school was again the main topic of public comment, with former co-workers, friends, and family of Dr. Coakley speaking more about why the name should remain.
Dr. Coakley had a presence about him. When you were a kid, you saw this set of white hair coming through the building, you knew the boss was in there. The faculty loved him, the cafeteria workers, the custodians, the parents, everybody respected the guy. A new doctor, or I don't think he was a doctor, but Umberto Napoleone, the assistant superintendent, Jimmy Donovan. I knew who the players were. We all did as kids, because they all knew our parents. So it was kind of a tight-knit town back in the day. As I grew older, I realized what the fella did for our town in his stewardship of our system, and how he shepherded us through some of the most trying times that we had. I think Mr. Pachikowski said it best, what we went through in the 70s and 80s. It was tough. In the early 80s, excuse me. It was tough. A lot of things were happening, and to have a steady hand at the helm was a blessing.
The F.A. Cleveland School was named for a noted educator, economist, and financial strategist who accomplished much for Norwood, Frederick A. Cleveland. The George F. Willard School, named for an icon, George Willard, who through uncanny vision greatly improved the community and business, municipal reforms, and planned a downtown format as it is today. So I ask this, in time, if either the Cleveland or Willard schools were to be replaced in time, will the new schools retain their names or not? I would hope that they would retain them with these two great people. These outstanding gentlemen were followed by Dr. Philip O. Coakley, who served as superintendent of schools for 18 years and was instrumental in the planning, construction, addition, and renovations of a number of our schools. More importantly, he was an astute educator, open-minded, approachable, and highly respected by all who knew him. He was a mentor to me, as well as to former administrators. Serious consideration should be given to retain the name of the new school as the Philip O. Coakley Middle School. Thank you.
Throughout the whole process, the name Coakley was embedded noticeably throughout the process. Never was it inferred, and there was opportunity, that there would be a name change. That is why I am so dismayed to be here tonight advocating that you keep the Coakley name. I urge you to keep the Coakley name and finish your middle school project with the integrity and transparency that you started with. The act of naming a school building is an important one. The name should impart a sense of dignity, respect, and trust, such that all citizens and students who enter the building feel they have arrived at a welcoming community space of learning. It has been barely one generation since the Norwood School Committee, of which I was a part at the time, renamed the Norwood Junior High building after Dr. Coakley, the former superintendent of schools for nearly 2 decades. Naming the school coincided with a shift away from the junior high model of learning to the development of an educational model geared for the middle school student. Because of this educational change, the school committee felt that the middle school naming was timely and chose Dr. Coakley as the most appropriate name. Therefore, it is difficult to hear that the committee's naming of the middle school is being considered negated so soon.
Philip O. Coakley was a 20th century life. He was a native son. Born in Norwood in 1918, he grew up here during the Great Depression, graduated from Norwood High in 1936, and served in the Navy in World War II. He was part of what some now call the greatest generation. Having worked in all levels of education, he returned to his hometown as superintendent of schools. During his tenure, the school saw unprecedented growth, experienced unexpected crises, and faced the beginnings of consolidation. His was a life worthy of remembrance. To change the name of the Philip O. Coakley Middle School simply because the building is being replaced seems baffling. Perhaps the school committee may wish to examine all school building names for their significance and continued relevance, but that would be a purposeful discussion for another day. At a time when across the country, individual and family names are being stripped from institutions because of intolerance, criminal behavior, and traitorous acts, it seems particularly inappropriate to remove the name of a good and honorable man who served his country and his community well.
Later in the evening, the committee read off the 20 names from the 241 submissions they received from their survey, as well as reminding the residents of Norwood where the idea for changing the name actually came from.
Just to update, at this point in the process, we had asked that the 21st would be the last day to collect names. The purpose of the information on the website and the responses was just to suggest names. So what I'm going to do right now is just two things. I will read the list. There are about 20 names that have been suggested. What I'm hoping to do with that next is we'll publish just the formal list, and I'll ask to upload it to the website. I'll include the name and just the blurb that comes with it. So just right now I'm going to read the list. I would suggest one just because of time tonight. I know we would have to take into account the open houses, but the next step would be sometime in the fall, planning the open forum where it would just be for the names. And I know when we had went back and done this in March that people had asked just to consider open house nights, and when you're planning that, just for time's sake, not to get down that road tonight. But if you would like to. So Coakley was one. I'm going to pronounce some of these wrong. I apologize. The Chickatabat Middle School, Norwood Middle School. I always get some of these Schooly McSchool face. Norwood Junior High. Edward Brook, John P. Dixon, Sean M. Dixon, Will Mason, Marfosi, Henry William Diggs, Carol Poirier, the Mr. Fitzgerald Middle School, Robert Fitzgerald Middle School, Robert Fitzpatrick Middle School, Tyler Lawrence Middle School, Robert A. Clifford Middle School, John J. Carroll Middle School, Bernie Cooper Middle School, William Fitzgerald Middle School, David Hajar Middle School, Norwood Memorial Middle School, William G. Brooks Middle School, Morse Hill Middle School. So I just harvested the names that were listed, and the Michael Anthony Middle School, that was the last one, sorry. Just took those. I was hoping to just publish those with the little description next to them, just for people to take a look at over the next couple months.
No, I would definitely like to really quickly, like for some of the things that we've been seeing, that I've been seeing, the complete misinformation, the twisting. I appreciate everybody that has come out and spoken to us, and and a lot of people have listened to what we've had to say, but there are other people who are twisting things that are just absolutely ridiculous. I'd like to remind the folks, even the folks that came tonight who were very respectful, that you're not the only voters in Norwood. I'm going to totally go back on what I just said there in a minute, and you're going to say, what the hell is she doing? But I just want to remind them that I've seen posted on social media that the will of your constituents, and you have to you're supposed to answer to your constituents. And to that, I tell you, it was our constituents who asked what we were going to name it and gave suggestions for a new one. So as little as some people want to hear this, there are other people in the community that had, and this was in no way to remove a name. It was, oh, we're building something new. Well, what's it going to be? What's it going to be named? Like, it wasn't ever, malicious to remove a name. For people saying, well, if you rebuild this, would you rename it? Well, maybe, yeah, actually. I'm pretty sure there was, some mild conversations around Norwood High School when it got built. So I just want to remind folks who keep wanting to say, listen to your voters, we did. That's how we started the process. So, that not the loudest is not always the only.
The next school committee meeting will be remote and take place on July 18th. For Norwood News, I'm Ron Marshalsea.